Good morning. I'm doing this one without headphones because my headphones the battery died. They forgot to recharge them. That's just life, you know. Anyhow, first up on the agenda is the fact that the Republican Party, not just Trump, but the Republican Party, is doing all they can to stop the overseas ballots of the military from getting to the United States and being counted. That's, I think that's just stupid on their part. You don't want to piss off the military. They obey the Constitution, not just the President of the United States. They can disobey, there are sections of the Constitution that would allow them to disobey a dictator. So we'll have to wait and see what happens there. And Trump isn't just a con artist, he's a master manipulator. I don't know whether that's con artists or manipulators too, but I don't think there's been one in the history of the United States or anywhere else in the world that's been as manipulating as he is. He's also damaged. He's damaged goods, and I don't know why they're so determined to make him president, It just doesn't sound like it's a really good thing. And then we have an independent he was, I think it was RFK Jr. He is determined to ruin the Kennedy legacy. I know that sounds sort of melodramatic, but he is determined to ruin the Kennedy legacy with what he's doing and what he's promising to do. Okay, he's being promised basically in certain areas unfettered power. Now he's against vaccines, and if he gets in, you can see a rise in polio, smallpox, and other vaccine diseases vaccine treated diseases that have disappeared over the years. They'll be coming back if he gets into office and gets control of everything. When the people start dying, that's when the revolution will really take hold. That's when there'll be a revolution, and then that's when Trump is going to find out what it's like to be on the wrong side of a group of people that are pissed. Okay? Now, the Trump stock, the Truth Social media stock, was going way up out of control, and everybody was saying that's a sign that Trump's going to get elected. Well, what is the sign that it's collapsing after the Puerto Rican comment? I mean, it's really gone down. It's gone down almost $10 a share now, and it's not blipping up. It's blipping down further and then coming back a little bit. It's I don't believe that's an indicator whether he's going to win or lose, but I think it's showing that his irreverence is causing his support to erode slightly. I don't know how that's going to show up at the polls. You might have Trump supporters not voting either way. You may have them going over to Harris's side. For some reason, I find that people have a deep-seated problem, resentment, problem, whatever. If they're asked to switch sides in an election, if they're so disgusted, they go over and they want to vote for the other side, and it's just so, I don't know what you say. It's just doesn't seem to happen, I'm looking for the wire. Oh, I got it. Never mind. All right. They'd rather not vote, and that, I guess that's okay. Not voting is going to be the same as if they voted against Trump. So they don't want to be associated with this man. That's like I don't know. I guess it's just the stigma that Trump has. They don't want to be attached to it, and I can understand that. And I can understand them not wanting to. They don't agree with Harris's policies, but they can't stomach Trump. Now that I understand, and I understand them not voting for Trump and not voting at all. And it's unfortunate that some of them might actually go and vote for RFK if he's still on the ballot, just to say that they voted. Others will not leave the house. Now that affects all what they call down ballot contests as well. If they don't vote, they're not going to vote for. They may. I'm hoping that they go in and vote their parties, but they don't vote for Trump, and they just leave that blank. You can do that. You don't have to fill in every space on a ballot. It's not required by law. So that might happen. It's amazing what a comment by a comedian. And why did he have these people there in the first place? Warm-up acts. Who the hell does he think he is? Come out and say what you got to say, unless you're going to have. I don't know what none of the old singers are still alive, but unless you're going to have some actual entertainment. Comedians are very dangerous to deal with because they're very irreverent, and they have the tendency to say off-color things. They're not. They're not. That's the term I'm looking for. Guaranteed to say, well, let me try to explain what I'm trying to say, maybe because I don't know the exact term, but they're not going to go up there and be politically correct. That's the term I'm looking for. They're going to go up there and say what makes people laugh, and that's the hard part about that. People responded, and the audience responded somewhat favorably to this comedian, which puts him in a very bad spot, and he says they don't have a sense of humor. That's not humor. Derogatory remarks are not humor. Okay? I told you the story the other day where a bunch of the black comedians sat down and got together and said that they had to stop using the word nigger in their routines, because they used to call each other niggers. And they just sat down and said, we're doing the job of the white folks for them. We cannot denigrate ourselves anymore. Let's just find another way to express the comedy. And they did, for the most part. As far as I can tell, it's not that there's no black guy out there doing nigger-dominated material anymore. Well, that's the same thing that's going on with this. There are, there was Freddie Prinze used to do jokes about Puerto Ricans at times. Not as bad as this one. Not insulting the country and everything, but, something a little, wasn't even derogatory. It can't go through the whole joke. It wouldn't make any sense to you, but that wasn't okay. And you don't see them doing it much anymore, although I don't see that many comedians at all anymore, so that's, unless they show up, the routine shows up on YouTube, because they don't get out, and I can't understand the comedy down here is slapstick, and I'm not into slapstick comedy, so that's a little difficult to deal with down here. All right, well, let's see. Now, here's something you should understand. Trump almost lost his mind when Obama was the elected president. That's why he wanted to run for president, because he couldn't believe that there was a black man that was more popular than he was. Now, Kamala is a person of color. Okay? If she beats him, not only is Trump losing to a woman, he's losing to a woman of color. His brain cells will all go pop at the same time. And I'm pretty sure they'll find him sitting in a chair someplace going, you know what I'm saying? Because that's just the, he'll come unhinged. He'll order his people to attack the White House, not the Congress or the actual White House itself, the home of the president. And I don't know where the vice president lives. There's another residence, but he'll order his people to attack these places, and they will get shot, because those places are guarded by U.S. Marines, as well as specialized troops. They're not going to let a drone or something come in there and kill the president-elect of the United States. It's going to be a rough day for Donald. I want him to lose. I hope he loses, for the sake of the country, for my sake. I'm very selfish with this, because I will lose my Social Security check and other things, benefits and whatnot, because of Trump and his policies. Well, they say, they don't need. They can do presidential proclamations. There's a whole bunch of ways they can screw you. And the Republicans have been after Social Security for as long as I can remember, because it's a Democratic program that proved at one time it was the most successful program in the history of the country, until Reagan decided he wanted to borrow money from it and screwed everybody else. I'd love to go collect the money from the Republicans. I'd walk up to MUSK and say, "Give me a few $1 billion, I'm going to blow your friggin' head off." Wow, he's another one. He's a provocateur. He's out there doing whatever he can to make himself better, to make money for him. To ensure his government contracts, because he too is hemorrhaging money because of the statements that he's supported, and the things that he's saying, the hardships that he's going to force us, the American people, to face. But in 20 or 30 years it'll be better. Yeah, 20 or 30 years. It ain't going to happen overnight. He can cancel things overnight, but he can't rebuild them overnight. That's the thing you have to understand. It takes time for the other new things to take effect, and that would just cause chaos beyond the scope of anybody that's watching this video. It's I don't know exactly what will happen, but I do know that chaos will reign supreme. That's a definite thing, It's a shame. I don't mind Trump losing his mind, because he hasn't got far to go there. I've said this before. He does not exhibit the aptitude to be a genius. A genius, he's got unless you consider a genius somebody who keeps trying and keeps failing. I think that's the definition of insanity, but I'm not sure, how that plays out in his case. But he's bankrupt 7 companies or something like that. And my answer to that was, I understood how his casino failed. One, he couldn't draw big name stars and stuff down there like he did with like they do out in Las Vegas. Which is half the reason that's popular out there, is that people go to the shows. And yet gambling is all part of it, but you go someplace on vacation, and unless you're a degenerate, you can't sit there and gamble all day long. So they give them entertainment to diversify their activities. There's no diversification down in Atlantic City. Okay, Atlantic City's it's a boring town. I mean, unless Bruce is playing or somebody's playing down there, there's nothing going on. There's no the shows that they put on they don't put on inside the casinos. The casinos aren't designed for that. You know, and I told you, if you wanted to feel depressed, all you had to do was walk into the Taj Mahal, Trump's Taj Mahal. I think that was the name of it. No, was it the castle? Trump's Castle. I'm sorry. I think that's what the name of it was. But anyhow, it was the most depressing place on the face in Atlantic City. I mean, I walked into. It was just dark. It was dingy. It was depressing. You know, and he. Or whoever was advising him, because he doesn't know shit about gambling, because he doesn't gamble. Not with his money anyhow. You give him $100 to go play slot machines, but you ain't getting that $100 back, no matter what happens. That's the deal. People are lending him money and expect a return, and whether he wins or loses, they're not gonna see any of that money. You know. It's just gone. Some of the really super rich will see some money, but the rest won't. See, it's like Musk. Musk can't lose. His contracts are with the government, a non-partisan entity. You know, he got those contracts not being Republican or Democrat. I'm not sure, you know, because he produced the technology. But knowing him, the way he handles his technology companies, the U.S. government's going to end up losing money. And that's okay. I don't want him to lose lives, though. All right, listen, I'm bored. I'm depressed. I got football tonight. It's Halloween. The kids will be around. So I'll see you later. Take care.